recruiting people from outside the estate agency industry. Today I'm joined by Danielle Nash, who is boss lady of the Property Academy. Danny, thanks for joining me today. Talk to me about recruiting people who are not estate agents into a estate agency. Talk to me.
I think it's really important to look at transferable skills, and one of the words that is massively overused is passion. Everyone's passionate about everything, which kind of means you're not really passionate about anything, in my opinion. But what is really important is that people care. So can you look outside the industry to see what skills are needed? So do these people that you're looking at, do they care about the consumer? Do they care about delivering a good service? Are they details focused? Are they curious? Are they hungry to learn? If they've got all those things, you can teach them how to do evaluation or to do sales progression or, property management.
You say they care. Do you think, obviously the people watching this will obviously care because they're taking their time and effort to watch this video, but do you think we as an industry don't care as much as we should?
I think we work a lot with the business leaders who obviously do care. They've got skin in the game. But I think as businesses grow and you're having to recruit for skills gaps, I think sometimes there can be a tendency to think someone is better than no one.
Yes.
And that just leads to problems down the line. So if you can identify out of the candidates you've got in front of you, if you can identify the one that you think is going to care, irrespective really of their skill set, that's the road you need to go down.
Because it's very easy to just, I'll hire that neg because I've got a position with a neg and I need a neg quickly. But the problem is that if you're firefighting and you have that position, yes, in the short term, filling that neg is going to help you. But in the long term, if they don't really care and they're a bit of a journeyman or journeywoman, the one that go from firm to firm, what do you think bosses could do almost to find the people before they need, find the right sort of people before they need it and get them trained up before, or something else?
Well, I think there's a couple of things. So I think you can recruit, you can promote from within. So if you're recruiting based on skills and curiosity and caring, those people, allow them to step into the gaps that you've got and then recruit from the bottom up, and then you can just continue them through that pipeline. I think we've had success at Property Academy in us recommending friends, because if you're going to recommend someone, you don't want to be embarrassed if they turn out to be not very good. If your friend has put you in a position, you don't want to be embarrassed by not being very good. And you've got to know each other on a social level as well. I mean,
look at you. You came on as I think head of membership, which is up bringing new people in, and when you joined Property Academy, and now look at you, you're bloody running the show. Well,
it goes back even earlier than that. So I started, funnily enough, on something like the 26th of July 2006, working for Peter when he had Phoenix, the marketing agency, and I actually started as a receptionist, and I came in from hairdressing. So
you're a hairdresser?
Yeah, by trade.
And you've gone through the rat, because I didn't know that. I knew you came in as membership, so I thought, I thought, wow, you've done really well and well deserved. I've seen you grow throughout the years, but as a reception, wow.
Yeah, so I left school, I did my A-levels, went to art college, and then went to be a hairdresser, because I actually wanted to go and do special effects in film, so I thought I'd learn to be a proper hairdresser. And then I really enjoyed it, and I loved the salon environment. But then I just fancied a change. So I went to my mum's friend owned a recruiting agency, and she said, "Do you want to go and meet this guy in Leatherhead? They're looking for a receptionist." So I turned up and got the job, and then moved through the ranks. I've had a couple of breaks where I've left and come back, but yeah, I've gone from receptionist to managing director.
Well, in a minute, let's talk about what you've been through and what attitudes so we can share to the ladies and gentlemen watching this, how they can, if they're watching this thinking, well, I want to do that, what skills and attitudes they can learn. But let's talk about people from outside the industry generally. Do you think there's a particular people like people work in hospitality or others that make good estate agents?
I think any job where people have to interact with the customer will have the necessary skills and confidence to go into a estate agency. So I'd say hospitality, retail, sales in other industries, because that's the key, isn't it? It's the ability to pick up the phone, walk into someone's house, introduce yourself, and be confident in what you're telling people about what is ultimately their most important asset.
Interesting, the two that I've been told is hospitality and people who work in airlines.
Yeah, I'd agree with
Because
that.
you've got to be personable, but you've got to have an iron fist when it needs to. And I think sometimes we need to have that iron fist, tell these people what they need to do, rightly so. Let's come back to you. So how did you progress throughout the career from, being nicely a receptionist all the way up to running a prestige, membership organisation in the estate agency industry?
So when I left hairdressing, I was running a salon, so I was managing a team of sort of 20 people.
How old were you?
22.
Okay, so have you got an old head on young shoulders then?
Yeah.
Where did you learn that from?
I think the way that we were brought up at home by my mum and dad. There was stuff that went on. My dad was paraplegic. He's died, but we had to. There was lots of periods where he was in and out of hospital, so we had to help my mum. And it's all credit to them that we never felt that there was any additional pressure. It was our family and we did what we did. But I think that helps with a slight kind of level of maturity, possibly, or it could just be that I was born that way.
What advice would you give to someone, whether they're in a estate agency or not, on how to rise up the ranks? I know that's not what the original question was, but I've been genuinely, that's why we do these interviews, and then if we find something, we go down the rabbit hole.
I think it's twofold. I think if you want to break into an industry, whether it's a estate agency or another one that you're not actually in at the moment, that's one thing. But I think it's also incumbent on the people that are recruiting to have the confidence to look at these people and not just shut the door on them because they don't have any estate agency experience. So I think if you can put yourself forward and be confident about what your skill set is and what you think you can bring to that business, that's half the battle. But then, like I said, I think it's also really important that everyone in the industry, for the suppliers and the agents, need to be open-minded and have conversations with these people.
I was talking to someone recently and they said you should actually be interviewing and talking to people before you need the jobs, to have almost like a pool of people.
Yeah, I agree with that.
What was your thoughts on that?
I completely agree with it. And I think don't be afraid to approach people in your everyday life. We are all interacting with people all the time. Have you been served by a particularly great waiter? Have you had an interesting conversation with your hairdresser? What was the vet's receptionist like? All these people are interacting, and just be really open to what you're looking for, because you never know what might spring out of a chance conversation.
It's about 10 years ago, someone actually printed some cards saying, "You've impressed me, give me a call."
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Really great, because you're saying that you're willing to have that conversation, but you're also testing that potential recruit, because it's like, do they have the wherewithal to actually take that step and make that call?
Indeed, putting the ball in their court.
Absolutely.
Danny, that's been absolutely exceptional. Thank you for your time today.